Ooh, might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, Alpha Male God, one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good? Welcome to an all-new episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter.
Say it with me now. Alpha Male God, 51 Spade, aka the ninja you love to hate. I'm in the building on a very special day.
Yeah, it's Father's Day. It is Father's Day.
See how we get treated? You like
2022. I was about to just roll into the show. I was going to say Happy Father's Day another time. But it is Father's Day.
It's 29th on the list. There is other holidays that's way more important than the Father's Day. Oh my
God. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers who are listening. Happy Father's Day to everybody that's listening. And because most people are home relaxing, chillaxing, we decided to give you guys another episode today. So thanks for joining us live on TikTok. You know how we do it. We do 2 topics in 1 hour. The first topic is, are we going to specify this just to men? Because the question is, will men ever stop cheating? But nowadays, we have more debates about women cheating than we do men, it seems like. So will cheating ever go away? Will people ever stop doing that? That's the topic. And then the second topic of the night is going to be, can you remain cynical while looking for love? That's going to be a good one, so we're going to save it for last. So this first topic is pretty cliche. I think everybody in the podcast world, I think guys and girls, girlfriends and boyfriends, homeboys and homegirls have all had this conversation. Will a motherfucker just stop cheating and tell the truth? Okay? Will it ever stop? And I have a really simple, even though I thought it was a great topic, I think my answer is going to remain the same the whole entire half hour. We can only stop that and improve our relationships with each other if we just stop hiding. I'm trying to stay away from the word lying, because I don't think anybody starts off as a liar in reference to relationships with each other. I don't think you start off wanting to lie. I don't think you start off with the lie. I think that you take an assessment on what it is you can tell and not tell your partner. And what you figured out that you can't tell them goes back in your mental Rolodex, and you keep a mental note of that. So when something happens that you should come forward with, something happens that you should be able to talk to about with your spouse, you remember when she said, oh, I ain't gonna do this, and he can't do this, and this and this and this. He remembers that and says, you know what, I can't tell her. Yes, shorty walked by and I got a hard on, but I can't go home and tell my girlfriend. This girl I've been trying to bag for the last 4 years that's in the military came home. I want to fuck the shit out of shorty, but I can't go home and tell my people. So as long as men can't talk to women, and as long as women can't talk to men about things they desire or things that really entice them or things that they even have questions about, they will always cheat. Life always finds a way. If your wife at home tripping, just don't tell her, but you go find your happy. And I think every human being is going to do that. Every human being is going to find their happy. Now, whether you know about it or not is up to you and your attitude and the energy that you perpetrated to that person. Period.
Interesting. Very interesting. I can see your point in it, but I don't think that has anything to do with it.
How can you not?
Because realistically, the problem isn't really that. Like, I hear what you're saying, but you're kind of approaching it from the standpoint of if this person actually says something. But in every relationship, people don't always have to say things. It goes by just a worldwide hearsay, she say of what women want or what a person wants. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be heard from your significant other. Like, I don't need to hear my significant other be like, I want a monogamous man. most people know that, at least most men know women want a monogamous man. So whether I heard it or not, it really wouldn't matter if it came out of the person's mouth. It's like you were saying, like, well, if this person says this, then they gonna covet it. But just universally, we all know that women out here have a list of things that they consider red flags, a list of things that they don't want, a list of things that they do want. And other people talk about those so it can float into an area of, to me, just understanding what love is. And I feel like as individuals, we just don't know what love is. People think that love is controlling this person. No, don't go fuck this person. I should be good enough for you. No, you can't do that because I should be enough. Or, you know, if you're looking at another person, what does that say about me? You see what I'm saying? Like, they always kind of flip it to a situation that has to deal with them. And
not about the person.
You know, it's not about the person. You're just basically trying to control the person. And if we've kind of really understood in just in general that love isn't a possession. Like, I don't own my girlfriend. I don't own my wife. I don't own my husband. I don't own my boyfriend. You see what I'm saying? They all have free will thinking, because really at the end of the day, the things that they're doing when they're not with you, that's what they would have did whether you
regardless.
Knew. Yeah, whether you knew it or not.
I think you say that all the time.
Of course.
That love is not control. But my spidey senses go up on that. You're not a possession, but understand, especially from a woman's point of view, that when you don't know where your spouse is going, when they're coming back, who they're sleeping with, when he's using a condom, when he's not, you're losing control of your life. Fuck what you think she's trying to do to him. If she doesn't have an account of who the fuck he's sleeping with and what time he's coming home for dinner, she doesn't have control of her own life. Understand that a person in a relationship makes dinner for two. If I don't know what time you're coming home, then I don't know what time to really prepare my food to keep it hot and presentable, depending on what I'm cooking. And I'm just using that as a metaphor for life. If you have a partner in life that's running buck fucking wild, how do you have control of your own life? And that's a question.
Mm-hmm. Because if you chose someone that's running buck wild, that's who they are. If you can, like, every individual is an individual person. There are people who are disciplined. There are people who are undisciplined. There are people who's good with money. There's people who's not good with money. There's people who are tit guys. There's people who are ass guys. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like, for me, when I'm dealing with a woman can send me a shot of her ass out, but she's assuming I'm an ass guy. But she might want a compliment. And she keeps sending me pictures of her ass. Well, you never asked if I was an ass guy. And then I'm not giving you no compliments. But you keep sending the pictures. Like, you have to know the individual. So you can't be with an individual talking about he's just running buck wild. No, he's not. People by nature are the same people. If a person likes fucking other women, then that's what they like doing. Like, how can you not be in control of that? Like, if I'm dealing with a woman and she likes nightlife, I'm gonna not be with her if I don't want to be with a woman who don't like nightlife. I would get with someone who's a homebody. Like, this narrative of, well, you have to do that. No, that's control. Again,
it's not control. It is not control. Because I feel like you can be Dennis Rodman out here, but if you have a partner at home, I'm saying Dennis can be Dennis, but I'm going to Vegas for 3 days. That's all you gotta say. You don't just take off. That's not control. Wanting to know when you're leaving and when you're coming back is not control, so to speak, controlling the partner.
So to speak.
It's not. It comes off like that because you're like, where are you going? And when are you coming back? And a lot of people say, well, damn, are you trying to control me? You're not giving consideration as to how that person, the other person, is planning their life, their day, that month. Everything, your actions, whether you believe it or not, cause a reaction to this other person. If you're going to be gone for 3 days, then I can do something else. I don't need to go to the grocery store today and buy $200 worth of groceries. You're going to be gone for fucking 3 days. Thanks for telling me. That's called fucking common courtesy, not control.
But I never said anything about people not having common courtesy. I'm talking about the idea of what you know a person actually is. That has nothing to do with that. Common courtesy and talking about a person out here buck wild is two goddamn different things.
I use Dennis because he is, so to speak, who I would consider, if I had to give an example of someone who lives a buck wild life.
Gotcha. But
I would use him, but I still believe.
But in the NBA, he had a reputation. So if you took on the reputation, you also know what you're getting. And it's going back to the point of what I just said. I'm glad you use him as an example, because with that came a liability. Whatever team took him on, then they knew that, well, we're taking on a person that is not really reliable. This is a person that is basically, you do not know really his outcome. So a certain team is like, no, you know what? I'm good off that, because we don't really know like what he's really capable of doing, and they deciding not to do it. But then there's a team and other people that's like, well, yeah, I understand like what we getting, and I understand what we getting into. So we're able to take Dennis Rodman on. I'm willing to accept the wild ways. I'm willing to take his unaccountability and just his jargon of just moving here and there. So don't tell me this idea like, oh, they definitely have to know. It comes, that person, Dennis Rodman, came with everything you basically know, because he was not a different person. And that goes along with, again, like in a relationship.
But if me asking you to be honest with me or to be more communicative, that is not control. That's all I want to make a point of.
But I didn't say that. I'm not arguing the point of what you're talking about. What I'm saying is, people who say they want to know the truth don't want to know the truth. And especially when it comes to women, y'all think y'all can wield y'all way or wield this man into this perfect man of this list that y'all actually have. Y'all go into this shit of like build a nigga. And then it's like, oh, we want, you know what I'm saying? We want you to be holy, and you don't have to go out with your friends, and that friend's not good for you. And then they try to exile your friends, and they try to change you into, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a control situation instead of letting the person just be who they are. You try to control the narrative. You try to control the situation. Now, I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. I'm talking about what initially happens in a relationship. So by you trying to control the narrative, instead of just accepting the person for who they are. So that's why I said, like, I'm glad you gave that, because there were teams that's like, we don't want that shit on our team. Mm-hmm. And I would say that with in a relationship. Like, I don't deal with loudmouth women. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if we out and me and my homeboy see like 4 women, and then I can look all of them and be like, oh shit, all of them fine. But then it's just one that's just snapping her fingers, and when she talks, and I'm just like, yeah.
Not that one.
Not that one. Because I know that I can't change that. But not women. Women look at men, and then they like, I can change him. And then be listening to your homegirls, and then y'all feel like y'all have a meeting of the dummies, and then y'all all feel like y'all can change it. Even when y'all give advice. When y'all give advice to y'all girlfriend, y'all don't take in consideration that how your homegirl control her husband has nothing to do with how you can control your man. So she give you advice on how this is what happened with this is what I did with my man, and then you try that shit on your man, and then you lose your man. That's you not knowing this individual, just letting them be him, like, girl, or even saying like, girl, that's not gonna work on him. Like, my man ain't even like that. I don't even hear shit like that.
Right. I get it. You know, the question at hand is, will people ever start cheating? And I think we went down that rabbit hole because we were talking about being forthcoming. And then when you talk about being forthcoming and being able to ask questions and get the truth, now you're saying, I said that the truth is asking the question and wanting to know the answer is not control. And you just said that maybe having the conversation at all is stupid because you knew who you're getting in a relationship with. And the only reason why I have a little bit of problem with that is I'm going to use the example you gave. 4 women in a group. One is loud. Sometimes all it takes is someone that she really likes and respects, a man, to say there's a time and place. And I think that's what we have an understanding of. We don't look at that as, I'm going to change him. I'm going to change her. I'm not looking at it as changing. I'm looking at it as giving them a correction, giving them a verbal communication that makes them better. Maybe that comes from me being a stage coach and always trying to make musicians and dancers and things like that better at their craft. So to me, if I have a person in my life, it's not like, oh, he's doing too much, I can't be with him. That's ridiculous. You're going to be doing that all your life. Instead of saying, he's a good catch, but I just don't like, or she's a good catch, but I don't like how she's loud in public. And if you have a relationship with this person, or you want to have a relationship with this person, or even if you're just interested, the first dim conversation should be, the first time I noticed you was the loudest in your group of friends.
And she probably would still be the loudest in her group of friends.
Not necessarily if she's not checked. If not necessarily if she's checked.
Thank you. Have you ever tried to check a female? Because
absolutely.
No, you haven't. Because and on top of that is a guy. But you did have a question though.
It says that monogamy is a setup.
Of course,
we agree.
Yes, monogamy is 100% setup. But you also have to keep in mind that most things that are man-made are setups. Yeah. Like monogamy is a man-made thing, and because we have that idea in our mind that it's a one person, one man, one woman, and this should work. I don't know why. I'm gonna say is women. I think more women believe that more so than men. So I guess that would really be a question for Miss Lassiter, is being a woman, or even the women or people that's joining on the live feed. They could give their comment, because I often hear a lot of times, like if you ask a woman like about their man, and you even mention a threesome, having sex with other women, it's like this rage come over a woman. I wish a motherfucker would. Like I should be all he need. He should need nothing else. That's monogamy at its finest.
It really is. For me, my opinion of it is I really agree with whoever made the comment. Monogamy is a setup. I think in that very short sentence, they said so much, almost like 2,000 words. Because I've always looked at it as kind of putting a guy, not really women, but I always looked at it as kind of putting a guy in a failing video game. Like he was just set up to lose. It's like, I already feel like in my heart, black men in general have it really hard. They have it hard in their careers. They have it hard sometimes with their children. They just have a hard time in society in general. And to now add, don't look, don't touch, don't taste. It's like you're definitely setting your person up to, at some point in the day or in the week or in the month, to absolutely 100% fail.
Got a question.
Fail.
You're a person who open to open relationships, polyamory, and things of this sort. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had conversations with women who say that type of things to you? Because I know for a fact you have a polyamorous relationship, but there's women that's like, I can't do that, or I don't see how you share, or I don't see how you do a lot of those things. And when I hear women even say things like that, I'm like, there's people like you who share openly, and then there's people who share unknowingly. And so to me, I'm like, who's really the smarter one? Because someone that's basically looking at you saying they feel like you dumb for being in a polyamorous relationship and being open, but then they in a relationship and they man is sneaking around and they have no idea what
they're definitely the dumb one. That's the dumb one.
Well, I'm not asking who the dumb one is. What I'm saying is, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say who's the dumb one. What I'm saying is, when you have those talks with women, mm-hmm. these are the ceilings that men hit. So why do you think, like, even as a woman, you being on the side, like being that woman who can sleep at night, not the one that's up at the middle of the night, like they don't even know where they man at. You can sleep at night. Mm-hmm. What do you say to them?
I use all the same things that everybody else uses. I've used, give me your favorite food. Your favorite food is steak and baked potato? Cool. We're going to put you on this island and we're going to feed you steak and baked potato every night without fail. I don't give a fuck if it's Christmas. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving or Valentine's Day. You will have steak and potato. Is that cool with you? And I pause. But that's your favorite food. It's your favorite food in the whole world. When I asked you, you said it like this. But when I asked you if you would want it every day for your entire life, you stopped. Why? And if we have that much common sense to say, you know what, I probably don't want steak and potato every day for the rest of my life, then why the fuck would you assume that another human being would want the same vagina or the same penis every single day till they die? It is beyond me. Now, when you're in love, when you are in your love bubble, I will give it to you. You can't see any more dick, especially women. They just cannot see it.
I don't know about that, but I got you.
They don't see it until there's a fracture in the home or a fracture in the foundation. And a fracture in the foundation could be just getting a new job. Something as innocent as taking a new job at a new place with new people could be a crack in the foundation, because now she has an opportunity to meet and mingle with other people that are not the type of guy that is at home. And something that this person do may impress her. Something that the way he smells, the way he looks, the way he speaks to her. If there was an open dialect where this woman could go home from work and say, this is exciting. There are a lot of men at my job that smell really good, without getting slapped, then he might be able to fix that before it goes bad. Either A, quit. I don't like it. Whether you feel it's controlling or not, I feel like it's a crack in our foundation. I don't want you working there. That's a lot of people saying that's ridiculous, but I'm talking about just focusing on the relationship. I'm not talking about whether his decision to make her quit her job is wrong or right. I'm just saying that he sees it as a threat. Mm-hmm. Information is always power. Or he'll take it as, well, you need to find out what the fuck that nigga wearing.
Or it's that inner hole in her that's just coming out. Like, I'm sorry, like I hear what you're saying.
Inner hole, something smells good to a person. When you walk by and you smell something,
I understand
that does not equate to being a hoe. That's like, damn, that nigga smell good. But if you have to bottle that up and only tell him he smell good, or only smell that smell when you're at work, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're drawing, the writing is on the wall, because A, something as innocent as something smelling good to you, you cannot go home and tell your partner. That is insidious. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense at all. A man smelled good to me today. If that breaks a man's confidence, then that's the problem. Not what the person said. You can't control that you work with men, and you can't control how loud their fucking cologne is. So I'm sorry if I want to go home and share with my spouse that today I was around some men, some rich men at that smelled good as a motherfucker. His reaction to that is either negative or positive.
That sound 100% good, and that don't have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Because inner hoe is inner hoe. Because you can't talk for everybody in the world. Because really, at the end of the day, it's like that shit is embedded in y'all. And then one thing about that I also want to say is, one thing about y'all is y'all have the same thing that has most men: curiosity. And curiosity, we all know the saying, killed the cat. And that's one thing. It ain't got shit to do with that. It's y'all curiosity that fucking got y'all going down the path. It's like, it starts with that smell. But then it becomes, what if...
But that's why you go home and talk about the smell, so you don't go there.
I let you talk. Zip it. I let you yammer on for 5-10 minutes. About nothing. Now... About nothing. Okay. Now, that sounds good, but curiosity killed the cat. And that's just what it boils down to. It's like it starts as something in your mind. But just like commercials or anything else, there are triggers, because you're the main person that come on this show day in and day out about like what euphoria that comes inside of you, and it just explodes inside of you and have you feeling a certain way, and you have a craving of this and that. Well, there are things that are like that with curiosity too. It's just this red thing. It's just like how they say, like with food, the reason why they use red, the signal why someone is hungry. Well, they use that for a reason, because there's a chemical in your brain, because you're a chemical person. Now, you always bringing this up. Well, these chemicals inside you, make you hurt your body and stuff like that. Well, there's chemicals also that when you see something, you just start to have this thing about it. You start to think about it. You start to dream about it. You start to be like, damn, now it done got to the point where I just need to have it, even if it's bad for you. And we all know the saying is like, we want things that's always bad for us for whatever reason.
So where along the road have you decided? This is just a question for you. After all that you've just said, where along that road have you decided not to go home and tell your significant other what you're experiencing?
I never said anything wrong with that though.
And so that was my whole conversation. Is something may happen that hasn't turned into. I concluded
your conversation. I had moved on to another thing, talking about y'all in a hole, because that really ain't have nothing to do with that. Like what I'm talking about is there are certain individuals that can be respectful and say, "Hey, I can go home and say that." But there are certain individuals that is not going to matter. Their curiosity is too much. They can go home just like men. Men have it in them to 100%. Like, and as a man, this happens a lot. Men be like, I'm being good. Even when we talk about homeboy, boy, I'm being good. I ain't cheated on my girl. This and like, our mind be focused. You be like, I'm telling you, dog, I've been good for 6 months. And then in comes rolling in Rolanda. Rolanda built like
Rolanda changed the name.
Rolanda built like a brick house. And then your curiosity is just like, damn, I wonder what them damn titties.
But what does your curiosity have to do with you being a cheater? Go home and tell your wife you met Rolanda.
I didn't say that you can't do that. I don't even know why you're still talking about that. I'm talking about the curiosity of why people go down the path they want. Even people like lying even to themselves. Women like lying to themselves. Y'all are real. Y'all damn good at that. Even men, what I was just saying. Like even when men are around other men even say that to themselves. But the curiosity of it at the end of the day makes you take that leap. I can't tell you what actually activates that. I couldn't even tell you how to even shut that off. Unless people who believe in the hypnotism or something like that can just shut it off. But just because you tell your significant other, as you were saying, that's just one thing. But some people who cheat, like I'm not talking about serial cheaters. I'm talking about people like you take somebody like Jessica Simpson. Jessica Simpson was a goddamn virgin who got married, who cheated. You see what I'm saying? But it's that curiosity that had her on edge. I don't think someone like that does it on purpose. But I don't even care if in her mind she really probably felt like she wouldn't cheat. But she probably felt like I'm married to my husband and I won't do that.
But the topic is, will people ever stop cheating? And I said it can stop if there's open communication. People only cheat when there's no other option. You go sleeping around or fucking other people because you're either missing something or you can't communicate something.
Open communication is not going to stop cheating.
How not? How not? If you're exposing your hand.
Open communication. Okay, a lot of people expose their hand. Like, did you see how upset Will Smith was when Jada was talking about entanglement? There was a pause there because she was giving her hand. She was just showing her hand. But what the thing about people is, when people cheat on other people, they hide it because they don't want to hurt the person that they with. That's why that is a flaw in what you're talking about. Because for you, I could give truth. But when I give truth, most people be like, that's assholers. But it's truth. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can go home and give my girl the truth. And then she gonna say, well, I understand that you like Rolanda, and I'm not built like her. You probably want to see what the titties feel like, but you can't stop that. I can try. You know what I'm saying? Or I could just lie and just be like, yeah, I'll stop.
But her asking you, could you refrain or could you not? Which is a crazily ridiculous answer. I would never say that to my spouse. But if we're going to use that example, her asking you if you can refrain is an okay question. And she should
But stop cheating? What I stop me from cheating?
Well, let me finish. Let me finish, because I feel like men just choose that shit for no fucking reason. You're telling me that, I can communicate all day, but just because because my that's not going to kill my curiosity, so I'm going to go down the rabbit hole anyway. That's a decision that you made.
No,
you're making a conscious decision to lie and cheat.
Okay, that is
even
what I
if
said.
you do communicate.
No, I was answering your question when you said stay on topic. You said, can open communication stop cheating? I'm letting you know, no.
Why?
Because it's going to be because in order for the open communication, for it to even be okay, the other person is going to have to accept what you're saying, not try to change your mind. And what's going to end up happening is the other person does not agree with you. That happens day in and day out in relationships now.
But
people come home and openly tell their significant other that XYZ is happening. But even though they're holding the conversation, they're met with the other person not listening. Because one thing about women, and I can only speak from a man's standpoint, women listen to argue, not to comprehend. That's what they do. They listen to argue, not comprehend. They don't even know actually what the guy is saying. They go into a defense mechanism, and then that goes into an argument. So even though he's being honest, the argument is actually what pursues and then pushes the person over the edge anyway. He came in being honest, but he's met with something else.
First of all, I think this is the biggest problem with cheating in general. I think, first of all, men already assume the answer.
Okay, first of all, it's not a man or woman thing.
Okay, right. I think people already assume the answer. You came in saying that we know on a whole that women want to be in monogamous relationship. There's a lot of things that have been, when we first started the show, we'll run it back. You did say that. You said we know that we know women want monogamy. That's not something that has to be told. You said that during the first time we came on camera. You had that conversation. That's what you said. Okay? So based on that alone, men or women can make an assumption that I can't go home and say. So I'm just gonna go do. That I know for sure. People already have a preconceived notion about how their spouse is going to respond to shit. I'm here to tell you that you cannot make that assumption. Now, I will say this. I think, for me, if I'm speaking as a woman, I think women have to take the responsibility for those assumptions based on some of the conversations that they've had with other women while their men were around, or based off conversations they've had with their men might be trying to tell them something that happened to his homeboys, and then you responded as, oh, hell no. That definitely ain't going down. You try me like that, all your shit out. These are the conversations that I think men and women remember. And then when they run into a situation, they automatically go back to that mental Rolodex and they're like, know what? I can't tell my spouse that. They gonna trip. Because I remember I was having this conversation and she went off and it wasn't even about me. So I'm saying that in two ways. I as a woman, will take a responsibility of some of those assumptions that we've made. Because we've argued and bitched and moaned and protested other people's situations in the presence of our partner. And so our partner has a preconceived notion about what they can say to us. But I also think men have to take responsibility for going down the rabbit hole off a fucking assumption. You may come home and may be able to tell the truth. Damn, Rolanda walked past me and my dick got hard. You might run into one day your wife say, or your girlfriend say, well, why don't we invite Rolanda over for dinner? Because you don't know what fucking program she been watching and what books she been reading and what friends she been talking to about the state of the world that we're in. Things are changing and we have to give people enough room for improvement. We just do, but on both sides. Stop making assumptions. Take it to your person. Another thing you should take responsibility for is if your person is not accepting of you, then that's who you get out of a relationship with. I want to fuck Rolanda. And if that's not okay with you, then maybe me and you don't belong together. Period. Don't become a liar and a cheater and then blame the fucking woman. Stop doing that. Take responsibility for your own fucking happiness. If you're in a relationship with somebody that don't want you fucking around and you've decided that you can't live without other pussy, then get out of that relationship. Stop falling back on that, oh, we don't want to hurt your bullshit. It hurts when we get an STD. It hurts when somebody else says, I saw your man somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. That's the shit that ends up happening any fucking way.
Are you done with your bullshit?
That's not bullshit.
Ain't nobody.
It's not bullshit.
Listen, zip it up. I done let you ramble on for like 10 minutes about complete horse shit. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to hear no more of your bullshit.
Damn.
Because we all know
Somebody
right now.
help me.
Nah, we don't need no help because I'm finna end you right now. In game. So. But right before we wrap up, I just watched one of the most powerful men, quote unquote, in the music industry cower in front of a bitch. P. Diddy just cowered in front of a bitch because she sat there and said, we in a relationship. And I want you to tell people that we in a relationship now. And not to hurt her feelings, since people don't fucking do that type of shit. He was like, all he had to say to her was, we in a relationship now? That's what we in?
Well, he's the idiot.
Well, I ain't say what he was. I'm just talking about what people do, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about what people do, since you say that, people just assume and do all this other type of shit, and you need to go ahead and be honest and this and that. Like, being honest, he was being honest, and then she did what most women do, that you said, sit there, had so much bass in your voice talking about they don't do, and said, I want you, we dating, right? We dating. We in a relationship, right? What do we do? So don't give me this horse shit about, all people got to do is be honest. And he weighed his options. And like most people, like I said, they're always going to go to the side of, you know what? This ain't worth this fight. You know, I'll let her just believe whatever the fuck it is that she want, that she want to believe. And this is why I was saying again, why being honest don't work in game. Now we're gonna roll on into the second topic.
Oh, now you doing the transitions tonight?
Well, that was in game, so you can't even come back from that.
Wow. You know what? I have a feeling that we'll have enough comments here and on the show when it airs that are gonna go my way.
In game.
I hope so, because y'all really better stand behind me.
What's the comments, Timo?
Bro, they going in on you.
Thank you.
Of course, females going in.
Probably men and women.
Of course, females are, because that's exactly what I just said. Females are always going to side with females in their bullshit because if you think that Diddy if anybody is a man was looking at Diddy talking about this is what a man's supposed to represent, I know plenty of people that podcasters, Breakfast Club, and everybody else was looking at him like, well, come on, Diddy. But I guess as a 50-year-old man with money, I guess he's just gonna cower to this.
Well, I'm agreeing with you on Diddy. I think he made a big mistake. I think that's a breakdown in honesty. I think he should have done the right thing and said, I don't really see us that way. I would prefer to keep our relationship open. But he's saying that not to hurt her feelings.
No. I was saying he was saying that at first, and then it was exactly what I said from get-go. When women are met with honesty, they try to change the narrative. Mm-hmm. Like they listen. They're not listening to comprehend. Mm-hmm. So he's telling her something, and then she's trying to change what the hell he's trying to say. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if someone come to you with honesty, they are changing the narrative of what the fuck they hear. You know what I'm saying? And he's sitting there telling her like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Well, we have fun together and we go places together. She tapped the paper, pap, and said, we dating. Fuck all that shit he just said. She changed the narrative, which most women do. So combat that.
Next topic. Because you're getting on my nerves.
Facts. Facts awfully do that.
Yeah, okay. The next topic of the night is, can you be cynical and still be out there looking for love? Absolutely not. Nope. I don't think you can. Now, I will give women this. I'm on the side of women tonight. There is deeply rooted issues in cynicism, whether it comes from us being raised by a single mother and seeing our mothers going through things with men, or seeing your friends get burnt really bad. That does make you cynical. I've been cynical. I've been cynical to the point where it was like, I don't need a boyfriend. I just want to be a homegirl and I'll get dick on my terms. That is nothing more than cynicism. You're cynical about real love. Since I can't have it, I'm going to play the game like I can play it. Now, understand that has a certain energy or a certain vibe that other people can read. And so all you attract now are people who want to fuck. You're not attracting people who look at you in a way that, hey, she could be my future wife. That's the future missus right there. Because your vibe is not future missus. Your vibe is, I want some dick. And you're not going to get over on me. So this is going to go my way. And whether people believe it or not, you're perpetuating that energy. And so you're getting back exactly what you're perpetuating. You're getting back what you're putting out. So I don't believe you can be cynical and find love. Now, have there been cases that I've heard women say I was broken, hurt, disappointed, and mad as fuck, and then I met my Prince Charming? Absolutely 100%, but most likely in a movie script.
I don't even really have an opinion on whether it can be cynical or not. I actually just have a question, because to me it kind of boiled down to women often a lot of times will say you get what you put out, and understand that. So when they look at men and then they see like men who probably carry guns, or they think they're a bad guy or a tough guy, and they get in fights, they was like, you bring that amongst you, upon yourself. But they don't use the same rule of thumb when it comes to them, when they're talking about love. So to me, that would kind of be my question, like why does that happen? Because especially now, like I see a bunch of women now that's like, they willing to pray for a man, Sierra's prayer, look at other women and want to manifest things, but they don't want to look at themselves and be like, maybe the problem is me. You know what I'm saying? They have a failed marriage, they can't find a man, they hop from man to man. I'm trying, and on top of that, typically most women roll in a pack of 4, pack of 5, almost like a Newport pack. And none of your homegirls, not one, is like, maybe you took a look at yourself? Maybe you can't keep a man because I'm trying to figure out why is that?
I think it's probably the one conversation I haven't had with my girlfriends is, what energy are you putting out? Because for me, I'm the eclectic one in the bunch. And so for me, it's just another weird thing that Kana did, because the question even sounds a little off keel, is like, what kind of energy are you putting out? But you can always do an assessment of your friend's energy without asking. If they're always negative, always complaining, never got their hair done, has given up on making themselves look good, have given up on their health. Those are all things that you can see outwardly that you might say, well, I mean, you're not getting a guy because you're getting your hair done. And I know you're not getting your hair done because you can give a fuck about impressing a nigga, but you did just say you're lonely. So you can have that conversation with that type of tone that has a little humor to it. It's just a thin line, because it's almost like if you're not going to take that approach, the approach is you're just not good enough.
But I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the ones that's like, you can't trust these men, girl, or, what I'm saying, they have to do X, Y, Z. Like, if he have 2 phones, that seem a little suspect. Or if, like y'all, they go into a cynical move, like, well, I called him at 9 and he ain't called me back at 10. Or I called him at 9. I know he sent me the voicemail and he called me back the next morning, girl. And it's like, but they tell y'all that type of shit. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I ain't talking about.
I have a friend like that. Every time she meet a guy, it'd be Monday. She say, I met this really cool guy, but I mean, the butt is coming. The butt is definitely coming. I just think he's probably married. I don't know. I don't think he has what he says he has. Well, what makes you think that? I don't know. Just a feeling. It's just like, you're right. They walk into a situation already.
Fear.
And that's exactly what
it's fearful.
It is.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, because when I'm talking about that, it's like, it comes off as fearful. And it's like, how dare him be a good man? I've even seen women be like, meet a man and he like 35 with no kids. And be like, 35 with no kids?
He must be gay.
Like, yeah, it's like, and then y'all go to the extreme, like how you just did. It's like, 35 with no kids, he got to be gay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all don't even take baby steps. It's like y'all take ginormous steps and go to he's either gay or something is wrong with him. Or, whatever the case may be. And that's real funny
But
to
the
me.
explanation... Oh, go finish. I'm sorry.
But it's real funny to me that it's like, if you want true love could be like right in your face. But it's like you're trying to knock down the good things to find the bad. Like, intentionally.
I want you to pay attention to something, though, and be real careful. Sometimes your red flags are supposed to be there. Okay? If I meet a guy who's 35 years old and doesn't have any kids, I did make the comment, oh, is he gay? But there are some other ones. Is his penis small? Is he socially awkward? At 35 years old, in my mind, he's already supposed to be at a certain level where those things aren't in question. You know what I'm saying?
What things aren't in question?
Is he gay?
But why do you initially go to gay?
Okay. These are just, like I said, some of the things that we've learned over time or seen happen over time that have created the red flag. Oh, girl, I was in a whole relationship. I met this guy. He was 40 years old. He had no kids. He was perfect. Girl, 5 years later, I found out this motherfucker was down low. That's why the motherfucker didn't have kids. That's why I'm saying that you cannot ignore the red flags. The red flags could lead you down the gay road, but it could also lead you down... He's a Christian and he doesn't believe in sex before marriage. But do I want that guy either? You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying don't ignore the red flags, but the red flag can take you down a place that still is correct. This is not the person for you. Because I, in particular, don't want a virgin. Should I? Do I deserve one? I guess I just like sexually experienced men. So I probably wouldn't be attracted to somebody who isn't sexually experienced that I have to teach. But he's not going to tell me all that in the first date. All he's going to say is, I'm 35, I don't have any kids. And I have now the red flag running. My job now is not to judge. My job is to find out why he's 35 with no children. And if I find out the answer is he's gay, that's one reaction. If I find out the answer is he's Christian and he doesn't believe in sex until marriage, that's another reaction. But guess what? The result is still the same. We're still going our separate ways. So me ignoring the 35 with no kids is stupid. I have to go with my spidey senses. My spidey senses are telling me something isn't right here for me.
Or you was raised wrong. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. The reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people do not understand this world. They're not cultured enough, don't go out in this world. 55% of black men are actually single and have no kids. This is not no fucking phenomenon. It's a phenomenon to you because it's crazy to me that when y'all see motherfuckers like Russell Wilson and I see people get upset when they be like, Russell Wilson is a simp. And then women sit there and try to say, well, how is he a simp? He's just treating her well and he's just treating her good. Y'all can look at somebody like that and understand that concept. But Future concept is a normal concept to y'all. This motherfucker got 7, 8 kids. This is normal. It's not normal because you choose bad men. It's not normal. 55% of black men are single and have no kids. Just because you ain't in the presence of them and you around retarded or bad or people who are that you definitely shouldn't be dating. And I'm not talking about you.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about you, but I'm saying just in general. A lot of times women start saying things like that. And because he don't got 7 kids. And I just want you to look at some of the logic. It's like, well, this one should have 7 kids, but this one have none, so this one don't seem right.
But both of them will be on the same playing field for me. If you told me you had 7 kids and you're unmarried, that's a red flag. But is it my job to judge him?
But that's what I'm saying. But he don't come with a gay statistic, is what I'm saying.
No, he doesn't come with a gay statistic, but he comes with another statistic. How many baby mamas you got? That red flag still leads me down a rabbit hole of questions.
I got you, but I still wanted to know, why did you leapfrog to a big thing that was like gay? So for instance, right?
Something. I wasn't naming it on purpose, but normally if I meet somebody who doesn't have kids, 35 and unmarried, that's one on my list. Well, do you like... did you date a guy? Because guys can't get pregnant.
Gotcha.
So if you've been fucking all this time, maybe you're not fucking women if you didn't make that mistake. That's all.
Gotcha. the cameraman is how old?
40.
And have how many kids?
0.
And do you have a good job?
Yep.
There you go, right there.
But
and hold on, no.
Oh my God, I'm so mad right now.
No, you can be mad. Normally, when you go down that road, now, do you have any homosexual tendencies?
No.
You've been with women on your whole life, right?
All day.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them. A bunch of him out here.
But I would still ask him why, though. It doesn't mean
I didn't say that.
I'm not going to ask why.
I didn't say that. I said, take into consideration, you might have been raised wrong. That's why I'm saying that. Some of the things that we think in this, some of the things that we think in this world that may seem like it's the right thing, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it takes people to go out in the world, and just experience another set of men that they don't. And some people just don't have the opportunity or things to do that. When I came to Florida, and I'm from Louisiana, when I came to Florida, you know how many people I meet that be like, they ain't never left Florida? Like, never left their city. Never left their city. So they only dealing with those people in their city. You understand what I'm saying? So now they start saying, well, the whole world might be like this. But if you was to take them, not to Germany, not to Iraq. If you just take them to California, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, whoa, this is a whole new world. Like, damn, I didn't even know there was guys out here like that. When I'm saying raised wrong, just keep in mind of what I'm saying. It's like your mama might have taught you what she know because she might have been closed off from the world. You understand what I'm saying? Which makes you closed off of the world. All I'm saying is there's nothing wrong. I know you hear that and say, well, how does that mean I was raised wrong? I'm giving you an example how you could have been raised wrong because you're raised to think that way.
I don't think I was raised to really think that way, me per se. I know where you're going, and some people were raised in that fashion. For me, I think it has been a tumultuous mix of personal experience and media, talk shows. Since I was, 13, I remember women sitting on Donahue couch and Oprah couch. And later in the game, Dr. Phil, crying, weeping, life broken. Okay? So these are the things that I hear the women say. I never asked. I never questioned. There are things that people do that set off an alarm. And if you're not asking the right questions or overturning rocks, you're a dumbass. And you end up on one of those couches broken. Simply because you did not do a proper investigation. People are unmarried and don't have kids for a fucking reason. I don't have any children. Every man that has tried to court me has been blown away by that. You don't got no kids? And then it's like, you feel like they want to ask you something else after that, but they don't because they're trying to be courteous. Oh, okay. Damn, you ain't want none? This is an example of someone getting something, being triggered by me saying I don't have any kids based on his own experience or whatever he's gathered his life lessons from. He asked further questions because it doesn't seem right. You can say that's because you're just not raised right. Everybody ain't supposed to have kids. That's fine. But everything we believe in, our whole value system and moral are built off our experiences or someone else's. That's just human nature. So when people say things to you, should they be judged and should you turn your nose? No, but you should definitely ask questions. And that's all I meant.
But I don't have nobody asking any question. It's the judgment that go with it and the type of judgment that go with it. So naturally going to the point of saying that, hey, this person is 35 with no kids must be gay. That is
must.
Well,
that's one of the things on the list.
Well, gotcha. You say you didn't say that.
No, gay is gay.
It can be on your list.
It's definitely on my list, and it's on my list because of my experiences and the experience of others. So and I didn't have anybody ever tell me.
So you experienced someone that was 35 with no kids that was gay?
Not to me, no.
Okay, then case closed.
No, but I said my experiences and others. So you're telling me you can't watch a talk show or a reality show where something happened for real,
but I wasn't
and not take away from that.
But I wasn't saying that. You can, you know what I'm saying? But also this thing with this world is kind of crazy to me is because it's like people people actually take like what they see literally. Like literally. Like really at the end of the day, you don't know what the hell went on a Phil Donahue show. Like just like things are scripted on reality shows and then people have to tell you that it's scripted. It's like people believe that. I'll give you like a good example. Like the Blair Witch Project, which was a movie that actually came out. There's people who actually thought that shit was real. They made it to the point where the how they shot it and some of those things that actually went on that movie because it was shaky and stuff like that. Come to find out, I'm like, damn, people really thought that shit was weird, but it's because the media portrayed it that way. That's the thing about media. And nothing is wrong with that. Not saying anything is wrong with that at all. What I'm saying is we have a lot of that, especially that goes on in the black community, like these color purple stories that women live through these through these imaginary tales of things that are not true. Even when you go down to Cosmopolitan and some of these things, there's stories that a lot of women read in Cosmopolitan, and the lady who actually started some of these stories, because they say that women are good sales when it comes to these type of things. They lied to y'all. But there are people who read that because they thought it was credible. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that people can't be fooled. That actually happens. It goes on. I understand that. But what I'm saying is the narrative a lot of times don't even be your narrative. So to go into it with the judgment of something that you haven't experienced yourself, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's a big judgment for something that hasn't happened to you.
Let me tell you something.
Like for me, like what you just said a few minutes ago about like you being a certain age and no kids. I ran into plenty of women that was in their late 30s, mid 30s, and didn't have no kids. Didn't feel shocked. Didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything. You know why? Because my experience made me go through that. Sometimes with people with their experience and also their culture, where they live and some of the things, they experience women who are having women, twins and everything else at a very young age. So they have kids. It's very rare that they experiencing women who have no kids. But it's also where they raised and how they're raised and what they're around, what their environment is around. Those things come into play.
Okay. What I'm going to say to that is this. At the time that talk shows were really like at the height for me is when we just started learning about HIV. And a lot of these women sitting on these couch were women with men on the DL. So you can't use that example that we're looking at shit and we're taking away from other people's situation. Of course the fuck we are. It's people dying and they're saying, or if you Google the statistic, that the highest numbers are black women, married black women. That means they're getting the fucking virus from their married husbands. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's a red flag for me as a young girl.
Show me that statistic. Need to see that.
I don't know if the statistics is the same, but back when I was watching it,
no, it's not.
Women, y'all, please, I'm telling you to look it up before you say that. I'm on this shit, and back then, women were the highest cases. I'm not saying, I didn't say now. I said back when the talk show started. Her brain been on for years.
I heard you. I was talking about now. I said, show me that statistic.
No, that's not the same now. I'm sure it's changed. Shit, you can live with AIDS now, so of course it's not the same. But back then, this is when they were telling us the most AIDS cases were women that were married. They weren't cheating, that were monogamous, and they were sitting there like, how could you have gotten it when the only person you're sleeping with is your husband? So the answer is the shit came from your husband. If you don't think that's impressionable on a young black girl that's watching Oprah, sorry, but you're dead ass wrong. You're wrong. You have to understand where that trigger comes from. And a lot of us, not so much anymore, but for years, if you mention, oh, I'm going to Atlanta, girl, be careful. It's a whole bunch of, it was in every fucking single conversation every other day. Be careful because it's a lot of down low going on in Atlanta, Georgia. It was just a thing that was going around.
But I never said that was not.
But you made the comment as in a lot of times y'all just reacting off a situation that don't even belong to y'all. We hope so. If you see a motherfucker homeless, I hope you look at him and say, well, I don't want to be that. No, it's not my situation, but now I'm scared rightfully so.
Nothing
That one day could be me, so I'm gonna do
anything.
everything I can, including asking questions to keep me off that couch.
Never said anything was wrong with reaction though either. I said people need to get out here and be more cultured, and nothing is wrong with that. Like, just because you live in a bubble a lot of times, sometimes that's not good for you to be in a bubble. It is all right for you to get out here and get a little culture. Also, you need to learn a lot more information. People have limited information, and their information sometimes come from social media and all this other shit that is not even pertinent in their life. Like, it's not pertinent in your life if you don't even live you live in a city you can't even fucking leave. So if you're not in a place where the highest AIDS rates are like in Atlanta or San Francisco and you can't even fucking get there, you can Google your own statistics in your own city. Use your goddamn head. Like, use your damn brain. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I just wanted to speak to the women who you are making that comment to, that don't look at somebody else's situation and note that as a red flag, but that's absolutely wrong. We definitely should. We do that with our children. You see so-and-so got pregnant and didn't graduate high school. Look at her working at McDonald's. You don't want to be that. We do that. Parents do that every fucking day. So if they're learning and they're learning these red flags are coming from social media, fucking so be it. Because you can be in a bubble and be naive and go out there and fuck up. Because you didn't say, well, that could happen to me. If you see it happening to somebody else, then you better damn well believe it could happen to you. And put things in order to make sure that it doesn't. And you know what? You can still do that and fuck up. But the point is, at the end, it does. But at the end of the day, if I fuck up.
But the reason they fuck up is because that's what I'm saying. They uneducated, because a lot of those stories that you're talking about, a lot of times, they do due diligence. And sometimes red flags for certain people are not as much of a red flag as you think. Because just like now, how you say, well, when you talk to your homegirls, I mean, you talk to your girls and stuff like that and can warn them that, hey, they finna head down to divorce. Y'all see them cheating and be like, all right, now, and does that stop them? No. They ignore those red flags of good shit, good information that's coming from you. But if it was on TV, they might take that as a consideration more than a valuable source is a friend of you doing that. They ignored that shit. So I don't want to hear no shit about no fucking red flags or what they hear in this and that. Like, people do what they want to do. And a lot of times when they end up in those situations, because they become uneducated and they go into shit blind.
But I think that's what social media, I mean, I know we're in a different time. So I know you have a big thing with fake news, social media. The state of media today, it does suck. But it's the number one communication that our kids are using. So we kind of have to embrace the information that they're getting off.
But I don't have no problem with that. I'm saying it's different ways to educate yourself. Like, not being limited. You know what I'm saying? Like, social media is one form of information. The news is another form of information. Your homegirls is another form of information. Your parents are another form of information. Traveling is another form of information. People take information, and the first source of information that you get, they bank that as fact. And that's what I'm saying. It's not always good to do that. Just do your due diligence and do the correct research. People don't do that, especially when you talk about black people, because sometimes they don't like to read. They don't like to go get the information. They want the shit done for them. I'm someone who's in a stock class and being educated on stocks and have to read things. And I'm in the class a lot of times with people that, like, they just want to get to the stock. They just want to get to they want to bypass all the information
and just trade
and just get straight to trading.
Yeah. I think that's a flaw in a lot of people. Just trying to get to the finish line, and there's got to be several goals in between. And your goal should be writing in for tap-ins. I think it's time for the tap-in portion of the show.
I don't have a tap-in.
I do. We have someone wrote in that says he believes and wanted our opinion. He says, do you believe that men avoid love based on their homeboys' experiences?
Do I believe that?
Yes.
No, I don't believe that. Men, unlike women, and this is what I would have to speak from my experience. Men that I'm typically around, we don't really mirror the type of women or have the same experience is with your homeboys. So his life might look totally different. I might not learn nothing from his life. I have a polyamorous lifestyle. I'm the only one in my circle that have one. You see what I'm saying? One is actually in a relationship. One is actually single. One is actually out of divorced and out of 2 relationships. You see what I'm saying? But none of their relationships dictate me of how I love my woman, or it's going to influence me on whether I should marry my person because my homeboy is divorced and still looking for love. Like, his experience doesn't have anything to do with me. Can it happen? It can happen. I mean, this is real life. I would never go out on a limb and be like, oh no, all men just don't do that. But I'm gonna say from the aspect of a man standpoint, I really don't think so. If they're not, if they're strong and as a leader, and most men have their own mindset, because that's what it boils down to a lot of times with men. Men have their own mindset sometimes what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Men ignore you when you tell them not to cheat on your homegirl. I mean, not to cheat on their wife or not to cheat on their girlfriend and stuff like that. Men ignore that shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say it can influence how you go after love. No.
Well, I will say 2 things about the person that wrote in the tap in. Number 1 is it wasn't a question, it was a statement, which leads me to believe that he is saying about himself, I'm not falling in love because I done seen what the fuck my homeboys went through. And his homeboys happen to be more famous people who are well established in entertainment. So if this is his circle, I'm assuming what he's seeing is what we talked about earlier. Women who are just looking for an exchange. I'll give you this if you give me that. Mm-hmm. This is these type of Birkin bag based relationships. Mm-hmm. And so I think when men like that get together, they do have more commiserating about what a bitch asked him for. She want a rep page. She always want her hair done. She's $800 for her damn.
But is that love? Because I really wouldn't consider that as love.
But they may be in a place where they thought, "Hey, shorty bad." You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, she need a new lace front wig. That's $800.
But you still can't bank that on love. I'm gonna say this: like when you're talking about, I'm gonna go from now the standpoint of what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. When you go from the standpoint of a celebrity and having money, you don't know who is love. Like, you have to be on guard. So realistically, can someone push their way in your in your life as a celebrity and then they're a non-celebrity? Like, that's a hard thing to kind of decipher, to be like, what does this person really want me for? Because they can't even separate who you are. Mm-hmm. Like, it's easy for me to say like, oh, separate Jay-Z from Jay-Z the person. You can't. Because he's balled up all in one. And I'm just talking about as far as like a man looking at that scenario as a woman. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you're a woman looking at that, I don't see how a woman can separate it. Now, if you flip that scenario on a man, I think that you can separate that, because some men don't look at women for their financials, who they are, what they are, this and that. Like, to me, if that woman is fine, she's fine. If she's fat, she's fat. You get what I'm saying? Like, I believe. So
you're saying you can see a woman and say, "Damn, she fine," but you don't want to know what she does for work?
No, what I'm saying is I can separate her celebrity from her. Okay, you see what I'm saying? All right. Like you said not too long ago, not too far back. Like, there's women who look at Lil Wayne, and I said, strip Lil Wayne of that. Would he still have those women? You see what I'm saying? Those women that's hollering at him 9 times out of 10, you said, well, he's ugly. You know what I'm saying? So that got to be the only reason they with him. Yeah. But strip him away from that.
He wouldn't have no play. He wouldn't get no play.
Why not?
Who the hell gonna holler at Lil Wayne?
Okay. Well, y'all answer that question. Who the hell gonna holler at Lil Wayne?
I mean, I think even, I'm not gonna say he knows it, but I think men who,
he might think he handsome.
That's what I'm saying. But I think some men know they don't look like.
I don't believe that.
Steph Curry. I know there's men out there that don't think they look like Idris Elba. I mean, come on. You know you're not that. When you get money, you aim to fix that. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you got Biggie. He's big. Biggie knows he's big, but Biggie got money, so he went and got that nice ass, fresh ass Coogee sweater, and he got on that Versace cologne,
we know women,
and that's all it took.
Because we know women like shiny things, motherfuckers that smell good and money. Like, this ain't nothing hard to figure out.
Exactly, but that
That's right.
that does not mean that Biggie doesn't know that that's what it took. He know he fat. Biggie know he 400-500, whatever he weighed. He knew that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he didn't know and then got rich and then it amplified. No, he knew exactly what he looked like, and then he went and got attractive based on his pocket.
Gotcha. But he didn't. But he did not believe that he couldn't receive love. That's the difference.
I think that's a question we would have to ask him. That's number one.
Well, he went after faith in.
I think that may have been real love then, but if I said, do I think he believed he could be loved the entire time he was?
Well, now you're changing the narrative a little bit. I'm just saying, like, I thought we were talking about just, the fact of just going after love because you just felt like you couldn't get love.
But
so what I'm saying is, like,
I feel like he felt like that as Biggie himself. I can't say 100% that he felt like that before he became when he was Christopher Wallace. I can't say 100% sure that he felt like as himself he could be loved. I can't say that. I don't know if he had looked in the mirror and cried. I don't know if he was like, damn, all I can get is look at his baby mama. His baby mama does not look like Lil' Kim.
But I was given the standpoint of him, or you said the dude that was dealing with that was talking about being a celebrity. But I feel like he approached faith from the standpoint of love. I'm not talking about whether it lasted. I'm not talking about anything. I feel he 100% felt like he could be in love with her. She could be in love with him. Seriously.
But that was when he became Biggie. He didn't do that as Christopher Wallace. And I don't think he would have.
I understand that.
He wouldn't have been able to approach faith if he wasn't Biggie.
But the tap-in was what? What was the question?
The question was, well, it wasn't a question. It was a statement that men do not fall in love because of what they seen a homeboy is going through. And I know for fact that this particular guy has a circle of famous friends. These are his homeboys. Yeah, and so he's listening to particular stories from them.
But that's cynicism because of who they are. So that's not men. You're talking about celebrities, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta. That's why I keep saying strip that away. True. So if you strip that away, like, if me and my homeboys making millions of dollars, billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be cynical too. I'm gonna not feel like someone can love me just for me, because I'm gonna be like, what bitch is here for me? If you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to get on some Coming to America shit. You want me to renounce my throne? I renounce my throne. You gonna love me now?
He renounces his throne. So we're hiring, guys. We need someone to sit in this seat. This is another episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter, and you can find me on IG and on Twitter at Kana Lassiter.
Some big motherfucking shoes to fill. You niggas ain't wearing nothing but a 16 girl. So so you know what I'm saying? You can find your boy on both platforms. That's 51 Spade. That's on Twitter and IG. I want to thank everybody for joining us on TikTok Live. You know how we rock. I want to thank y'all. Hey, y'all go ahead and support the channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Friday nights at 8 you will see replays, and you can watch other episodes and dig into the vault and enjoy yourself with laughs. Have a healthy debate. If you're looking for these shirts, you can find them at Alpha Male God Creations, and I might send you one with a significant fee attached to it. Make sure y'all following us also on the IG. That's DA_relations_podcast, because I want y'all to keep up with us and support the channel. We'll give y'all more shows. See me back again. So go ahead and do it to the Cash App. That's $Alpha Male God. And I'm going to sign us off like I always do.